Throughout history, there has been conflict all over the world. Religion is tied to many conflicts and wars because people are willing to fight for their beliefs. And that is the whole point of conflict: the hate of another people, the want of freedom, or the want to influence your beliefs. This documentary is about an area of the earth known as the Middle East. The Middle East has always been a huge source of conflict in thriving societies. The history of the Middle East is not a simple one. It was conquered by many empires and influenced by many religions and beliefs. The city of Jerusalem, Israel, is a holy city for three major religions: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, all of which originating in the Middle East.
This area of the Middle East has been through war many times between the famous Christian Crusades. A war over Jerusalem fought between the Ottoman Empire of the Muslims and the European Christians. That is just one of the times when religion has started a conflict, when two religious empires fought hard over the Holy Land of Israel and Jerusalem. But today we will learn about the Arab-Israeli conflict that ties into the conflict between Judaism and Islam. The conflict has been going for many centuries, even though Israel is a fairly new country, having been founded after World War II in 1948.
The Muslims believe that Jerusalem is the place where their prophet, Muhammad, went to commune with God in heaven, and that the Israelites, Jews, stole it. The Arab countries would argue that Israel is theirs and was taken from them by the Jews, but some Jews/Israelis would argue that God promised them Israel, and the Arabs have been trying to steal it. But most Israelis believe that they have a cultural connection to the land, and don't entirely believe that it was promised to them by God. Just recently, part of it was given to the Palestinians, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. The Arab nations, including most of the Middle East and parts of northern Africa, have repeatedly attacked Israel and its territories in an effort to take control. Although Israel did attack the Arab nations, Israel only attacked after the Arabs assaulted them first. Israel has always won every war it was in.
Because it is surrounded by so many enemies, they find it important to keep a strong military. In Israel, every citizen who is over the age of 18 is required by law to serve in the military. Men must serve for 3 years, while women must serve for 2. Israel spends $13.3 billion American dollars annually on their military, and it has the 34th largest in number of troops in the world. It is important to keep an open mind when documenting this topic, because taking the side of one opposing religion might not tell you the full story.
One source of the conflict is the holy site of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. During 957 BCE, the first Jewish temple was built on the holy site. Then, in 586 BCE, it was burnt down by the Babylonians. Later, in 516 BCE, the second temple was built, and then destroyed by the Roman Empire in 70 CE. The Jews now want to build a third temple, but the site has already been used. This site is also holy for the Muslims, which is why they have their holy temple there, the Dome of the Rock. Because it is so holy and important, the Muslims built the Dome of the Rock, a holy mosque, in between 689 and 691 CE. When Israel was created, they took hold of the city of Jerusalem.
Because of all these differences, it is almost obvious that conflict will follow. The Muslim extremists believe that it is, quote, okay, unquote, to suicide bomb in their point of view that Jews are evil and killing a non-believer will send them to heaven with 72 virgins to take care of their needs. The huge amount of mostly volunteer, quote, religious soldiers, or according to the Israelis and American officials, terrorists, can still not push through the tightly protected, guarded borders of Israel, which leads us to the topic of the Israeli West Bank barrier.
This is a barrier that is built in between Israel and the West Bank/Gaza Strip territories, the Palestinian National Authority. The barrier stretches approximately 436 miles long. It is made up of fences with vehicle barrier trenches with an exclusion area of approximately 60 meters. This takes up about 90% of the wall. The other 10% is 8-meter tall concrete wall. The wall is tearing through dozens of Palestinian villages, making it hard for the people on one side of the wall to make contact with the other side. Also, it has become extremely hard to go to school for the people on the Jordan side of the wall, because they must cross the border simply to get to class. The wall has destroyed many villages and crops, making the people living in the area near the wall very angry. Although Israel has made the wall to protect itself, it may have just made things worse by angering villages.
The Arab-Israeli conflict is very complex and a very hard to cover topic. but we think after all our research that the two groups might come along to a peace agreement eventually. The conflict ties too much into religious beliefs to have peace right now. The only way to stop the conflict is to let go of those religious beliefs and realize that there are greater problems in the world, and slowly start to share the land mass that the two religions have.